Hey guys, it's Allison. I hope you're having a good time on the Shelleyland train ride. This is week 3. We're swinging by the boardwalk for a game of Go Fish. Let's paint some fish, guys. I love the colors. Aren't they cute? The characters are cute. The colors are bright. It's just happy. So I've got a little octopus I decoupaged on, a little snail I traced on, and let me show you how I did it. I got a nice big Santorini from my Stones by Shelley. You don't want a small rock when you're doing a challenge rock. My octopus and my snail, one I'm going to decoupage, one I'm going to trace. Down at the bottom there, I drew it off camera. It's hard to see. This is a blemish stone. Don't be afraid of blemish stones. You're going to paint over it. Down into the water, there's the beach. There's the clouds in the sky. I'm going to trip over my words. This is my first video. And I've done it so many times, it happens. I'm erasing sea life that we're going to put back in. So when I am done outlining my snail, I am going to trace the entire thing in a Posca, black Posca 1MR, to keep the cartoon look of the cards. So here I am decoupaging my octopus on. That's just printer paper. That's all that I had. I just went with it. And I had to make sure his head started to lift later. I had to make sure that I got really well. You want to make sure you get really well under all of the edges, his little leggies, their arms. Get under all of his legs. Use a nasty brush. Otherwise, you'll ruin a good one if you just go in with a varnisher medium or glue, unless you're going to get up that second and clean it, which I was not. I like to use a mechanical pencil. Pardon me. And I'm going to say a million times. I like to use a mechanical pencil when I am doing my tracing on carbon paper so I can see where I have been. People like to use styluses, dotting tools, anything that works for you, use it. This just happens to work for me so I can see where I have been. When I am done with tracing on my snail here, again, I am going to draw out everything in a black outliner, so it's going to be quite brilliant. From right now, all you see is a little octopus, and I'm drawing on the snail. I should have waited. I put the tape down too fast. Now, I wanted to get a good transfer, and I wanted to get it done well for the tutorial, but I did not let the Liquitex dry, and it grabbed a piece of the carbon paper. I'll show you how to deal with that in a moment. Again, after that, everything will be traced in black. Done there. It was a great transfer, but see how it pulled off a piece of carbon paper. Wanda the Foiling Rock Lady has these in her store. I will link her Etsy shop. It is a blade that just scrapes off blemishes, little issues off of your Santorinis, and they're great. Here we are back. I have outlined everything in black, and what I just waved at you was Folkart's Blue-Belle and Wicker White. And those are the colors that I'm going to use in my sky. You'll see I will kind of wave some things at you, kind of flap some things at you. I forgot that, you got to speed these up. So I am wet blending the white into the blue. I have a habit of using too much paint, so you'll see I'm wiping it off there. But I am taking blue, and I did a bunch of blue, and then I put in some white, like wispy clouds, and then I added in some more blue. And then for my clouds, I used Wicker White, and I also used Folkart's Camel, Folkart's Camel. And I only used a tiny bit of it. I pulled it in from the side. I grabbed the tiniest bit of brown, and I pulled it in over to my white. And I mixed them together on the side. And I wanted my clouds mostly white, but there's sun out there, so they're not always perfectly white. And I needed a color underneath. What I really want is glitter in my clouds. Well, you have to have paint under any kind of glitter that you're using. So that was my medium color, and I started going in I darkened it up with the darker brown at the top, and I blended that down from the top, and then I blended more white from the bottom up into the top until I was happy with the gradient that I had. And as you'll see, they're quite light. And they seem so dark now, but the more as the painting progresses, they don't seem dark at all. I thought that I had made a mistake there, but I wasn't. Oh, look at those plants. Yes. Okay. So I drew those in off camera. I apologize. I took the leaves from the octopus. So what the octopus is over, that was from his card. And then the ones on the far right are from the seahorse card. They're very simple. If you just look at them, you will have no problem. It is just cartoon sea life. So now I am painting it in with my favorite brush. It's just my favorite good old brush is what I used for most of this. And I am using Folkart's Adrift. I like Folkart a lot. And on the first pass through, I did the first normal color, and then I'm going to add white. There's 2 waves behind at the water line. Each wave going out, I'm going to add some white and make it a little bit lighter. But it was a little too thin for me, a little too transparent. So I went ahead and did 2 layers. After I couldn't get in with my favorite brush anymore, I just grabbed a disposable eyeliner, or a fine liner brush. Grab whatever works for you and get into those small spaces. I did it again. I'm not going to go ahead and make you watch me paint this 2 times. Don't you want to, right? Twice? It'll be fun. So, don't forget all the little spots, especially in your decoupage. There's holes that you don't realize. So now I wanted it a matte color. We've got stuff that's going to go on in the background. Here, all I've done is I've added white to my Adrift, and I made it a little bit lighter. I added more white to the next Adrift. Don't worry about covering any black. You're actually going to go over it again to create nice sharp lines for that sharp cartoon look. The octopus is going to be acrylic. The snail is going to be watercolor and foil. I believe I've said that, but now you get to know again. The beach here is Folkart's both iced coffee mixed with Camel. I love this color. To me, it's such a pretty beach color. And I'm going to use glitter. So, of course, I'm going to put a pretty color underneath that will go perfect with a glitter. I'm going to glitter the whole entire thing. So every color that I choose, I'm thinking I'm going to be using a glitter soon. So for the, I just waved at you there, bright green. And I like this nice bright green folk art again. And on the second leaf, I just used my favorite brush. Nothing special about this brush. I used my favorite brush and I used liners. That's pretty much what I used. And I added a little lime green to make this one stand out. And then I darkened it again. I went back to my original green to make it different from the second leaf. So the first and third leaves are the same color. The second leaf is a little bit brighter, so it stands out. I went in with a fine liner, get in between all of his little arms. We call those leggies around here. And the octopus is going to be purple. And the insides of his legs or his arms are going to be yellow, and his sucker feet are going to be orange. But first we're going to paint the other grass. And on that, first we're going to add some sap green to our dark green to just kind of make it a darker brownish, not a brownish, but like a muddier green, and just run a line down the center. And that's its center vein of the leaf. Just again, cartoon, happy, fun leaf. Remember to keep anchoring your pinky on your rock, your hand on your table. I kept putting my hand in my paint because I wouldn't. This, I'm using a fine liner, and I am using I'm wiping paint off my hand because I'm not anchored. So here I am using bright green and lime green. I'm mixing them in. I took my brightest green and just added some little lines to just add some texture. down the grass, and now we're moving on to the octopus. The octopus is the same as the sky's Blue-Belle, and I used Folkart's Lavender. It's just slightly different color, just added some purple to it. And I'm going to go over its face here, and that's okay because, yay, we can always paint it back. And here in a little bit, pardon me, as I'm painting, I'm finding out that it's odd painting computer paper. So be very careful. You don't want your paint to be very wet. You want to be careful. You want a nice color, but you want to be careful. Also, my hands are starting to twitch. I warned you I was a rock spinner. Sorry, I spin my rock, and I do my best to try to not spin it too fast to make people uncomfortable. I was getting to a point where my hands were twitching and I had to take a break. So I took a break. And at this point, if you are using any kind of chunky watercolors, this is where you want to activate them. Activate them now. I painted a second coat on my octopus. Didn't want to make you have to sit through that. Now I'm going for the insides of his legs. Make sure you've activated your chunky watercolors. So this is Folkart, I believe Daffodil Yellow. And then I did pure orange on his suckers. It's suckers. It's his whatever. Little sucker feets. It's just a happy octopus. Now I'm going to go through with the orange and just fill in the little circles. It's so happy. They're just so happy. And on the Chromatek, we'll get there in a second. On the snail, I'm going to be using Chromatek watercolors. I will list the colors below. I use quite a few different colors on the snail. And look, I'm showing them to you quickly, so I will list them for you below. And I was going to go with the shading on the card, but then I thought, you know what? I'm going to foil it. So I have spoken with another admin who I trust very much, and she warned me that Chromatek pens are not the best. They will fade quickly. Now, all watercolor fades, all acrylic fades, but Chromatek pens are known to fade very quickly. I'm hoping maybe with some foil it'll last a little bit longer, but I do not expect my pretty snail to last forever, for not even, I don't know how long, because apparently Chromatek do not run out and buy these pens, is what I am saying. Do not do these ones. What I would recommend, I do not know. I would have to research that on what would be the best style watercolor pens, but I am not real big on watercolor pens. This worked great for me for the tutorial. So I will list the colors below. And again, just be careful. I hope that my spinning isn't making you sick as I color this cute little snaily peppermint over here. Just has a fun pattern, fun colors. And its body and tail are going to be a different color. I didn't worry about shading at all because I'm just going to foil over it. But on the body, I did a little bit, not a lot. I just went in with the main color. Make sure you get its little antennae. And you don't want to, it doesn't matter if you get over its face again, because we're just going to go back in with the eyes. I'm going to go in and give them dotted eyes, googly eyes. So the body and the tail are the same color. And then there's a little bit of shading with a darker color on the body of the snail. Again, I will list the colors below. You can feel free to use whatever colors you want. I went with the colors of the card. Here I am taking off the excess and I am making the shading over to the left of the body. And I used red for its cheeks. I do know that color. And so now I am going in with extreme purple and glitter, and this was ridiculous. Okay, so I tried to go with the shading on the card, right? Yeah, with glitter. No, it was ridiculous. So I'm really not liking my octopus at this point. I'm kind of, you see, I'm kind of looking at it. It's got like weird eyes. I'm not liking it. So we're going to come back. So we're going to do some googly eyes. We're going to let that glitter dry. We'll figure it out in a minute. Everything can be fixed. Still thinking about it. So I'm going to take some Wanda gouache. It's some of her shimmer gouache. If you use this, make sure you shake it really, really well. I am using the fine eyeliners from Amazon, and you can get a bunch of them for extremely cheap. If you don't have fine liners, those eyeliners make great little liners. I stirred the watercolor. It is not ready. So now I am going in with extreme glitter and champagne. Every beach needs lots of sparkle. So I'm just going for it. I tried to do a little bit, and then my daughter walked by and said, "Don't go crazy, Mom." And that was like challenge accepted. Look at, I have soup over here. This one is ready because I overwatered it. I just put as much, I was going in with the chunky glitters, and the poor chocolate holographic just got smashed. Poor thing. I just did too much water. But the color is absolutely, absolutely beautiful. That is also in Wanda's shop. This is Wanda's blue glow in the dark. This is Wanda's chunky holographic snow from Christmas. And it is not ready yet. And so I added a little bit more water. You really need to let them wait. Do not rush those. So while we're waiting, we're going to paint our fish schools. Remember, you have to have 3 schools of fish. You need 2, you need 3, and you need 4. So we did our 2. This is going to be our 4. Always have to have one going in the wrong direction because I'm me. And there's our 4 set, and this will be our 3 set. And I'm going to put that blue glow in the dark in the water, and I'm going to put the sparkle in the sky. I wanted my clouds to be sparkly, but you have to have paint underneath them. Remember, hint, hint, have paint underneath your glitter. And so here I am. I'm going in with the glow in the dark chunky. It took a while. You really need to give it its time. And sometimes you'll get chunks on both of them or whatever, whether it's the black ice, whether it's whatever color of glitter that is in a pan. You need to be patient and give it the time to break up if you're using these exact ones. You can't just smash around and dig around in it, or they won't work the way that you want them to. So it's not ready. So my sky was. I decided to go for the sky pan and did the sky pan, the pan that I wanted for the sky, using the glow in the dark, going in and filling it in now. There were some chunks that, again, you just got to be slow and spread them out. And while I'm doing that, it took me a while. This took me a while, guys. You have to be just slow and patient with it. You can't, it's not something that you can just rush and, oh, yay, there you go, and it's done. It doesn't work that way. But it always ends up pretty. If you don't have this, Dragonfly Glaze, Extreme Hollow, any of those, gosh, they're so pretty. That would look really pretty in the water or the sky, in the clouds in the sky. For me, everything. Oh, I went in here with my fish. I grabbed extreme glitter in black, and I went ahead and painted the fish black. I should have painted them black to begin with, but I thought, oh, let's just do a dark blue, because it's far away in water. I should have done black, but it still turned out really cool. So went in with a fine liner, did that. While that's drying, I'm still over my octopus, still trying to figure out what am I going to do with this octopus. So let's just dot his eyes. Its eyes. We'll dot the other one's eyes too. There we go. Oh, I love that googly eye look. It's so funny to me. So I'm still thinking we'll skip it and let's just go do we were going to go spray, and I couldn't spray yet. First, not everything had glitter. This guy didn't have glitter. So I just grabbed chrome shell powder and brushed it along the top. It's just really, really light powder. I outlined the entire thing. I have sprayed, outlined, and foiled the entire thing. Now I am using liquid pearls as a dimensional paint to create bubbles and birds. A lot happened there. So I finished what I was doing. I took it off camera and sprayed it. I am back with a glove so my hand doesn't mess up my art. I foiled it and outlined it again. That's how we got to this point. Then I took Liquid Pearls Dimensional Paint. We're going this way because literally we get one shot at this and then we do it again. So this is time many. I asked my daughter, if you could paint her on the outside, what would you paint it? She says gold. So I grabbed my favorite gold, and what flashed by is it, but it does not have the name of it on there. I will link the company below, but it does not have the name of that gold on there. I have had that gold for a while. It's my favorite. So I started painting the outline, and we're going to come back to the outline in a minute. Again, what I did, I finished with the glow in the dark and the watercolor paints and my glitter. I took it offline. I sprayed it so the glitter wouldn't go anywhere. I came back off camera. I fine lined the whole thing so you didn't have to watch. And here we are. I also took purple extreme glitter and just pounced it all over my octopus so that it just was modeled all over. Now I am painting the outside and I am bringing the edge up in a lip so it creates the look of the edge of a card. It's finished. The edges are finished and it's just completed. It gives me looks complete to me. So now I have a couple charms, hopes and dreams. When I play games with my family, I always have hopes and dreams that are dashed of winning. What? So anyway, I used E6000 to glue on the charms. My hands get reactions to glue, to resins, all that kind of stuff. So when I was resining, I had a respirator on. When I was foiling, I had gloves on. For gluing these guys on, I had gloves on. Okay, I have a terrible time with rhinestones. Terrible time. I fling them everywhere. Terrible. Look. Oh my goodness, it went in. I can't believe it just did that. And look, I have one more. Wait for it. Wait. So use your charms, use your glitter, use your liquid pearls. It went in. Use your foils, use your dimensional paints, use whatever you want to use. This is multimedia. I'm signing it, but then I realized I wasn't quite done yet. I had to come back, and I realized in his tentacles, I wanted to put the Hollow Illusions crystal ball, but then I did it off camera. So in there drying is the Holographic Illusions crystal ball. I know this went fast. I know that this was my first time doing this, 12,000th time on my phone. If you have any questions, please message me. Here he is foiled, the snail. I would love to talk through with you if you need help. Just message me. Charms, glitter, just choose a Go Fish character. Have a good time. All I did was tell you what I did. Have fun.